Oh, hello. Welcome. Welcome to Break the Chains Media. Here today is Tuesday, July the 7th. We're down at Colorado Children's Hospital in Aurora, and we're going to be meeting up with some other people here. And where are we at? Trying to see where we are at here. But if you, I'm going to flip this around to this camera. We have some friends here already. We've got two security guards that are watching. The protest is at the corner and at the public area in the front of the building on public sidewalk. And I've already seen, I don't know, maybe like three or four police officers roll through in what I can only assume as a show of force. But yeah, there's security guards floating around. Uh, we got about a dozen people, maybe 10 to a dozen people here. I'm just filming it. I'm going to be holding it live. They're going to be recording live and taking photos. But we are here to protest against. Here, I don't know. Does this work? We're here to protest against the transitioning of children, transitioning of minors using taxpayer dollars, taxpayer money at the at various hospitals, Medicaid money. Yeah. So I'm just here to document. We're here to report. What up? We're just chilling here. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Hi. Hi. How are you doing? Good. Are we live streaming? We are live right now. Beautiful. I figured I had to keep my camera. Hi. How you doing?
Good. I'm
Good.
Mark.
I'm Corey. Break the Chains Media. I started my live stream way over there because I saw like 4 different police cars and the security team all over there. Okay.
Yeah, we have to stay out
Of
here.
course,
We
this is
can't even go back in the shade.
this is public area. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want you to. They don't
They
want
were
you.
very nice.
Well, I'm sure they're always they're always very nice until they're not.
Yeah. How you doing? I met you before. I'm
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah. Scott Bottoms, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Corey
Yeah.
Blair. Yeah. And Sven. Yeah, I've seen you. We fought the good fight together.
Yeah, against
Yeah.
that horrible bill.
Yes. Yes.
They basically captured it, and we need to see if we can encircle them.
Well, I think what we need to do is we just need to oust the Marxists who are pushing this agenda.
That'll do it.
No, Scott is.
Yeah.
That's when Scott Bottoms.
He's the best opportunity we got.
There was this other woman that tried to run, but she was kind of crazy.
Crazy. Another
Maybe.
representative.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Not like local Lorena Garcia or anything.
Oh yeah.
But somebody who still was kind of nuts. So it's like, well, Scott Bottoms.
Well, I'm gonna grab one of these. That's a good one. This is a good one. This hospital is under FBI investigation. Where is the lie? Colorado Children's Hospital, one of many, using taxpayer money to mutilate children, destroy a generation.
It is the equivalent of the Holocaust.
Absolutely.
This is the Auschwitz mentality, the final solution.
Oh, and then when you have a generation that's demoralized, desensitized from morality and truth, people seem to just follow the herd. Oh yeah, this is great. Nice. Everyone's looking beautiful. Got a nice little standing here. I love it. I love it. Great. Let's see if we can get them on the way out. This hospital's under FBI investigation. Why did you stop? It's all right. Oh, look, there's a police officer. Yeah, that's the third time he's done the lap. Why are these people? Why are you stopping? There you go. Thank you. Got a good turnout of people here standing up against SB 1312, the bill that just passed here in Colorado last legislative session. The mutilation and the destruction of a generation of children with trans ideology, gender hormone treatment, and genital mutilation. We are out here doing the right thing and standing up against the mutilation of children and the false, pushing false ideology and false narratives on what it means to be a transgender individual. Can you please explain your sign to me? I love it.
Well, we really care about kids.
Yes.
We don't have any kind of antagonism towards any child that identifies as trans, and we just want to protect them from harm.
We just want to make sure that our taxpayer money is being used effectively and not to harm and mutilate children.
Yes.
Yes, I fully agree with that.
Right there in front of the church. So I was walking over to his truck. He's still sitting there. I'm like, would you let me call tow trucks? And the other guy, he just gets out and says, "I'm sorry, Pastor." Well, that guy interested me.
But everybody
We're in the house. It's right behind the church, and somebody knocks on the door.
Should be able to smoke cigarettes.
And it's the smaller guy, the one that Chris, and his wife. Reminds me so that's it, just right there. I said, if something gets weird, just see me. And she's standing there. He's
they work on that cosmetic surgery.
Yes.
They pay for it by themselves.
Can I get your little conversation here? Because I think I fully agree with that sentiment. Because what were you saying as far as taxpayer funded money?
People, we like to say, let adults do what they want to
Sure.
do.
Absolutely.
We believe in freedom.
A fully informed adult has the right to consent to their own.
Right.
Yes.
But they should pay for it.
They should pay for it.
What they did was they lobbied the medical associations to make it seem like it was life-threatening.
Yep.
And it's not a life-threatening condition. It's actually a fetish.
Well, what I think is interesting is that these types of surgeries can be covered with state taxpayer money.
Oh yeah,
but
it's disgusting.
but
Medicaid.
but breast augmentation or breast reconstructive surgery after breast cancer is not.
Well, you know,
But if a man feels like a woman, he can go and get it.
Absolutely.
That's reality being inverted and upside down on it.
Absolutely.
There was a debate in the last few days about cutting Medicaid funding for adult transition therapy.
Sure.
Affirming therapy, the hormones, the surgery. These things cost a fortune. Making a penis out of skin from your arm, making a vagina out of a penis by inserting it. These operations cost a fortune.
Yeah.
The military pays for it. All our Medicaid is paying for it. They debated it, and then the Republicans ended up in the Senate supporting Medicaid funding for gender.
And I think there's a larger issue at play here, and obviously we can speak to the money aspect of it and speak to the crimes of that nature. But the larger issue is that we are indoctrinating, and we are fundamentally, mentally, psychological warfare against the youth of our nation, against using the trans individuals as a Trojan horse to a depopulation agenda.
Well, also these guys, they have a fetish.
Yes.
And it's called autogynephilia. Look it up.
Yep.
And they get off on being seen as a woman or pretending that they're women.
They
lobbied the medical associations to lower the age because they want to believe that you're born trans. So if you're born trans, then you should trans children. Also, a lot of them have pedophilic tendencies, and they want people to look young.
Right.
Forever.
Well, not
kind of Peter Pan.
That's interesting because there is a whole group of people who identify they're ageist or maybe ageist isn't the word, but they identify as a younger age. Like they some people dress up as babies. It's a real thing. I mean, it was on TLC. It's not made up. I mean, it's a real thing. These people wear diapers and want people to tend to them as a child.
Out of porn. If you look at sissy porn, a lot of these well-known trans activists, one of them, the one in California, I can't remember his name right now, but he says sissy porn turned me trans. And it's all about pretending you're a woman and being degraded.
Right.
And they get off on that.
Right.
It's fetish.
Yeah. There's a whole
trying to normalize it and make it seem like a virtuous thing.
Right.
It's morality turned on its head.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Well, and I think I think the biggest thing is that the trans movement and even the all of the extraneous gender identities or sexual orientations, you get mixed up, but like, you know, they are piggybacking on the bisexual, gay, lesbian,
piggybacking on the gay rights movement.
The gay rights movement.
People wanted to be able to marry somebody of their own sex. In that sense, I don't know. I don't really care about it.
I mean, personally, I think the law. I mean, the government shouldn't.
You don't have to change your name to be gay. You don't have to force everybody to call you opposite sex.
This has been my line in the sand since about 2016, 2017, when they come after the children, they start harming children, they start medically mutilating children, they start injecting false senses of reality into their young moldable minds. That is the problem.
Physical health problems.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, they're
bone problems that cross when they take testosterone, and psychologically you become warped. Because you're not genetically created.
Well, your body wants to do one thing, but you're forcing it to do another. It's like keeping your car in reverse, but trying to drive forward.
We used to be against steroids, giving anabolic steroids to women. We used to be against that.
I made a joke.
We're celebrated.
I made a joke. I go to the gym with my son. I said, you know, my son's 13. I said, if you were to identify as if you were a girl and were to identify as a boy, they'd give you steroids. But if I'm a man and I want to get stronger, that's illegal. It's illegal for a man to use them, but they'll hand them out like candy to children.
And they're so harmful to the body.
Yes, absolutely.
They're shortening their lifespan. They don't have orgasms. They're not sexually functioning. They're doing it to kids before they even know what sex is.
That's the problem. Like, these kids are not emotionally and mentally mature enough, spiritually mature enough to make these kinds of decisions.
Well, the brain doesn't fully develop till about 25, and they're well. I always think it's funny. They have arbitrary numbers. You can go die in a war for your country at 18. You can drive a car at 16. You can't drink till you're 21. You can't own a handgun till you're 21. But if you identify as the opposite gender at 6 years old, 8 years old, we can start giving you hormone treatment. That's insane. It's insane.
But it's like, how did we get here? And unfortunately, a lot of people think they're being nice. They think they're being nice. Oh, he wants me to call him Alice.
Inclusive.
Okay, I'll be nice and I'll call him Alice and pretend that he's a woman.
Right.
And that's how we got here.
Right.
But there's also a lot of big money everything behind it. The Pritzker family, the Martine Rotblatt, the Marcos Foundation. These people are billionaires are pumping huge amounts of money into the so-called LGBTQ cause, which is just the T cause anymore.
Well,
because the T cause is erasing the LGBT.
Well, I think Scott Bottoms in the Well said it best. I think during session against the 1312, LGBT or LGB is a sexual orientation. TQA and everything beyond is an ideology.
That's right. He's right.
He's right. Absolutely right.
I'm so glad he's teaching.
LGB is sexual orientation. TQAILMNOP, RF 9er 5.
Fantasy.
What are you doing? Calling from a walkie-talkie?
Well, when you talk about identity, everybody has it. It's unique.
Yes.
Everybody's unique. There's as many identities as there are people.
Well, I think there's a large aspect of it. It's Munchausen by proxy, especially with these parents. These parents want to feel validated because they're being so progressive.
Yes.
They want to walk their child around and say, look what I'm doing. Look at how good I'm doing for the future of.
And they're being enabled by the medical and
the children don't know any better.
Institutions.
The children, it reminds me of these horror stories I used to hear on Missing 911 or Unsolved Mysteries or whatever, where they used to have. I remember a story of children being kept in their in someone's basement for years. And since they were children, they ended up finding these children 12, 13 years old. These children these young adults at this point couldn't even speak because they were abused for so many years, and they were neglected by these foster parents or by these parents or whoever was quote unquote taking care of them. They didn't teach them how to do anything. They were basically feral humans. And I mean, it's very reminiscent, shifting what it's not so different in a parental looking at it objectively. When you are putting a child who knows no different, who knows no better, this kind of ideology and pumping this kind of agenda on them, it is child abuse and it is evil.
I was a teacher. I'm a retired teacher, and it's just horrible to me to see what's happening. I just
and getting involved, and then when you bring up the schools, my son's in a charter school, and even in the charter schools, they've got the rainbow flags. He spent 6 months. He spent 6 months of his English class talking about racism and how white people are bad. It goes way beyond just this gender thing, but it's indoctrinating our children, demoralization of our children.
Even the whole pride thing, which is for children. I mean, they're trying to attract children.
Oh, did you see the TikTok video of? It was from Denver Pride. It was about a 10-year-old kid swinging on a stripper pole at the Denver Pride event.
And my point is, why do you have to be proud of your sexuality? It just is.
Well, no, there's
It is.
well,
You don't
it
have
just
to be
is.
proud of it.
Well,
They made
as
kids
a
want to be part
as
of
a devil's advocate, they say they've had to hide who they are for so many years, and
and now they don't
persecuted
anymore.
by the government.
And
So
that's
now
wrong.
they have to go to the extreme and wear BDSM and like kink attire it down a parade in the middle of
But,
public.
you
Like
know, a
like that's
lot of
totally
gay-
unacceptable.
You realize a lot of gay people are against the
Oh, I 100% agree.
You understand
100%
that.
agree. Yeah.
Because it's not really gay people that are there.
No.
It's the fetishes.
It's the
it's
mindset,
pedophiles.
right?
There are a lot of gay people who want to live normal lives and mind their own business.
Yeah, and they
don't want to
and
be
they can.
crazy and loud and cause.
I mean, you have many. I mean, Gays Against Groomers is a huge group. They have
I love
they have
Gays
factions
Against
all
Groomers.
over the country.
They're right on it.
A lot of good. There's a lot of good people. I mean, I've worked with many of them, and they would agree with me that when you start getting involved directly with children, right? The drag queen story time, the drag queen story time. They're not going to read stories at the elderly folks community or just the library. They focus on young elementary school children, pre-pubescent children.
Why do you think that is? Because they want to normalize grooming them.
Exactly.
And funnel them into their lifestyle for their sexual fetish.
Exactly.
Not the librarian.
No. The LG.
They think they're creating
the
utopian
the drag queen
revolution, a queer utopia,
well,
where their sex doesn't matter.
Well, that's communism.
They think they're creating a utopia. It is
destroying the identity.
Totalitarian.
The concept of destroying the identity, destroying who you are, is. I mean, we're getting a little philosophical here, but destroying family, destroying all the core tenets and values in what made America great. And I say it on my live streams. Like, what is your perception of what is in your mind's eye of your ideal American
they base
country?
it on the gay clubs, the queer clubs,
yeah,
the culture of those clubs, like that one in Colorado Springs. I read a lot about that, the culture and how they were so welcoming and so conclusive. And they want to take that and apply it to the world. They don't see any reason why they can't take that culture and expand it. That's what it's about. And the librarian and all these little old ladies that are going along with it are trying to be nice and inclusive.
Well, thank you for adding your few moments. What was your name?
I'm Nancy. What's your name?
Nancy. My name's Corey. I'm on Break the Chains Media. I did do the anti-ICE protest. I did do the No Kings protest, and now I'm out here. Like, I just want to cover more information. What's happening in Colorado? Like,
Thanks for sharing.
I've been doing.
You're obviously educating yourself about it. I appreciate that.
Are you on X?
I'm on X. Break the Chains M on X. You can find me there. I'm actually live streaming this right now, so you'll be able to see it. But I testified against 1312. I testified against the gun bills. I testified. I mean, I'm in support of tape. Like, I'm doing as much as I can in Colorado to push back this Marxist takeover. And I see
your stream here.
Yeah, this is a large.
40 people are watching.
Well, maybe 40 views. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, great. I love that. But I want to be out of here, and it's hard when it's the middle of the weekday, So I
was going to say more people need to come out to do this.
Yeah,
it's not enough to really overcome the groundswell of support on their side.
Right.
It's very small, the people who came here today, but I believe we're on the side of history that is correct.
I'm standing with my morals. I'm standing with my values, and even if I'm the last one standing. Like, I remember, like I said, I've been a proponent of this since 2016, 2017. Like, leave the children alone, and that's what it started with. Is like as an adult, fully developed, consenting adult who understands the decisions that they're making, who understands the medical treatment or the medical procedures they're about to take over into their body. That's one thing. But as soon as you start talking about a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-olds, you know, physical mutilation, puberty blockers, you know, fundamentally changing that person's life forever.
In a way they'll regret more than anything.
Yes, absolutely. It's a hot one.
Yeah.
Yes. Looking good.
I'm gonna try and make this bigger.
Right?
Yeah.
You should, yeah. Double, make the, get like bubble letters.
Bubble letters.
Yeah, like make it twice as fat. Like how,
This is a big fat marker, so
I mean,
use a home marker that didn't have a whole lot of stuff in it.
Did anyone give an explanation of why we're here?
no, I would love to, if you want to add a few minutes to the stream,
Yes.
we're streaming right now, so.
So the FBI
All
has
right.
formally launched an investigation into 3 children's hospitals: Children's LA, Boston, and here at Colorado Children's
Here,
in
just hold
Denver
that if you could.
for federally illegal female genital mutilation.
What was that,
Yep.
federally?
Federally illegal
illegal.
female genital mutilation,
Yep.
which, according to the Department of Justice and the FBI, and the consensus among most of the medical community, FGM, or female genital mutilation, includes hormones, wrong sex hormones and puberty blockers, and surgical mutilation for sex changes. So this hospital, along with 54 other hospitals in the state of Colorado, are violating federal
54.
law for mutilating the genitals of minor children.
Yep.
And that's why we're here, to draw attention to this hospital being under investigation by the FBI.
Children's Hospital Colorado at the Anschutz Medical Campus being active under investigation right now.
By the FBI, I think doctors will be prosecuted by the DOJ.
They better be.
And there's good work that happens in this hospital.
Absolutely.
It's a life-saving facility. There are kids who need actual care, but what's happening in the True Gender Clinic is not care. It's mutilation and harm. It's surgical and chemical castration, and it detracts from the good work and care that happens in this hospital. They need to shut it down.
And are these surgeries being? How are these being funded?
So in the state of Colorado, we, the taxpayers, pay for sex change procedures for minors.
The taxpayers in Colorado are paying for minor transgender mutilation surgeries here in the state of Colorado. Isn't that fantastic?
In fact, House Bill 1309 that just passed this year and went into law
House Bill 1309 passed in this session.
mandates that all insurance carriers and a public slush fund pay for sex change procedures.
Well, I know what I voted for. My taxpayer money did not go for that. I do not want my tax money to go for anything associated with that. Life-saving care is important and it's valuable. This hospital does a lot of good, but what they've been caught doing by the FBI, they're under investigation right now for, is not a good thing.
And I encourage people to go to stoptheharmdatabase.com.
Stoptheharmdatabase.com.
Stoptheharmdatabase.com, because Do No Harm actually got public insurance information and has given us the numbers of how many kids at a minimum have been mutilated chemically and surgically in this facility. That's over 100 kids in a 5-year period, but that doesn't account for self-pays and fraudulent coding. So most of the kids that get mutilated in this building, doctors are they're having insurance fraud to wrongly code what's actually happening to these kids. So that number is much higher.
Incredible. That's why we're out here, folks. We're making our voices known, making the public more aware of what happens every day, all the time, in this facility and other facilities across the country. What do you got here?
Save autistic youth.
And free to think, free to speak.
Yeah.
Got a few minutes to add to it?
Well, yeah, like, I've got tons of time, to be honest, but mine says save autistic youth, because all the stuff you heard Aaron just say, not only about female genital mutilation, I'm going to say right now that half these kids are on the spectrum. And as an autistic person myself, this is extremely heartbreaking and devastating to me, because it's making me feel like I'm not going to have a community anymore. So that's why I'm here.
Yes.
Here to save my peers. And not only that, I mean, the sex ratio for autistic people who are getting mutilated and castrated is probably a lot more even compared to the non-autistic side. But there's a lot of autistic youth that are being taken here because they think that there's no other way for them to participate in society or have friendship or have love if they don't become trans.
And it's almost like it makes them feel important. It gives them the sense of being if they're accepted in this group of people, right? Is that yeah?
It's because the reason for this is because we don't even have a community of our own, and we're being abused largely by the same big pharma industry that operates the trans stuff.
Sure.
And like special needs is a whole industry of its own that makes billions of dollars that I would probably assume is taxpayer funded. And it's not what you think it is. It's actually child abuse. Kids are slammed to the ground, locked in closets, objects thrown at them. This happens in our schools as well. And they've brainwashed the whole culture to think that we're somehow worthless. And I'm here to tell you right now that that is not true. I understand there's a chronic disease epidemic, and I'm glad we've got Robert F. Kennedy to do something about that. But to think that that's me is insane.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're out here, and I'm glad all of us are out here, but making the public more aware of this type of information is really key.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to found my own organization. I'll probably call it the Autistic Freedom Network. It'll be the first conservative-led autistic network in the world, in the history of the world. And it's really, the goal is to create a conservative. The goal is to create a conservative autistic movement akin to something that other conservative movements have done. So we can, for the first time in history,
Excellent.
for the first time in history, be able to live the lives that God created us to live. We're not made to be mutilated and sit on our butts our whole lives.
Yeah.
No, we're made to do what we're good at. We're made to do good with the gifts that God gave us.
Everyone has the ability to do that, and
Yes.
and I think the hardest thing is when people take advantage of autistic youth and inject this, and I think that's a huge point, and I'm glad that you're out here doing that.
To be honest, I think that's I think that's most of their customers.
Sure.
Without that, they're going to take a huge hit. So at this point, I don't think the war on woke can be won without the autistic population. And that's what I'm here to do, to add this final crucial piece to the war against woke.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Prepared for whatever fate.
Oh, I'm always prepared. I always come prepared.
There are thousands of people that wait for every word uttered through your voice.
Thousands.
It's like when
Yes, all of us.
when Aaron speaks,
Yeah.
people listen.
Yeah.
Like that.
Someone gets that with it.
Yeah, your kids will never see you as important.
Yeah, like you said, you never organized protests.
Mom's weird. Yeah, mom's making up
I've organized a few protests in my day, but
we had family protests.
it's always so tough when you have to. I always call it like wrangling cats, trying to throw cats in a bag. You know, you can literally tell everybody all the time, show up, but if they just don't actively I don't work. I'm a bartender, so I work nights and weekends. So this is my weekend. This is my weekend, right? Wednesday afternoon. Well, yeah, no. Well, I just had to drop the kid off at the airport. I'm child free for a week because he gets to go see his mom for a week. It's great, but it just kind of worked out perfectly. So, well,
He's out here. This is what he's doing.
when in doubt, yell about it, right?
Did you get with Paul yet in the white shirt?
Yeah, I spoke with him for a few minutes and wanted to get a couple more commentaries on the stream. We're going about 33 minutes right now. I'm on X Rumble and YouTube.
Paul, do you know Paul about
Get the Corvette. Get the Corvette. We tried.
The court forbade him from talking about trans space.
I saw him talk about this.
You know what I mean? Like when you say that, I'm like,
Scott, could I borrow you for a few minutes? Put a little few words in this, and then we'll wrap up. I don't know if you want to.
Do you want me to go somewhere?
I think this is fine. I know when the cars come, it's hard to hear. So maybe just few steps away. All right. Good to go.
Well, so we're out here, I believe, dealing with the biggest issue of our modern generation, and that is this total attack against parenthood, childhood, this attack against the sovereignty that God created people in His image, And there are some people that just cannot stand the fact that God did that and that He is actually sovereign over that. And so they say things like, I was put in the wrong body. And then we have all of these other groups that immediately attach to that. Counselors, school teachers, neighborhood groups, and pretty soon these kids are sitting in a hospital like right behind us here, and they're having transgender surgery, and they had no idea how this was happening. We have literally dozens and dozens of people that have testified in the Capitol about this, that they were tricked, that they were coerced, that they were forced, that all of this was a manipulation, and that the hospitals are the height of this manipulation.
Yep.
We've seen this with the hospital down in Houston for the last few years, but now we have 3 hospitals in the United States, and Children's right here in Aurora is one of them. They're under investigation with the FBI. This is egregious. We need to have people going to jail for this. You're destroying kids. This is attack on children and pedophilia, I believe, at the highest level. They are literally mutilating. They are, and I've even asked this of Democrats before that are on the leftist side, not the average person out there, but these.
You got moderates and you have leftists.
Yes. And these leftists that are literally saying, I asked them, I said, okay, show me one person, male or female, that's had lower surgery that is okay later. They cannot show me one person that has had mutilation surgery that is okay later. They spend the rest of their life broken. They spend the rest of their life having to have medical treatments because it's never going to take, because we are not big enough as human beings, and we don't have the power, we don't have the ability, and specifically the sovereignty to be able to change the sex of somebody. It is not possible. We're just cutting things up and destroying and mutilating, and then these children are sterile the rest of their life. They're bleeding and oozing the rest of their life. They never, ever heal from this. Infections the rest of their life. Show me one. I still haven't had anybody. Show me one person that's had lower surgery, complete lower surgery, that is now good. It doesn't exist.
Does not exist. And
so we need the help of people. We need the help of people across Colorado. We got to stand up against this.
I think you hit on an important point, that it's there is a pedophilia aspect to this, but in my humble opinion, I think that this goes hand in hand with the eugenicist depopulation agenda. When you're indoctrinating a younger generation to believe that they're in the wrong gender, and medical science can fix them or cure them, and we already have a declining birth rate. We already have a whole other issue on abortion. But if this type of gender mutilation happens and it continues to flourish in younger generations, we already have a population crisis, but we will be in a population catastrophe if this persists.
Well, this also ties into not just eugenics, because eugenics ties into this. This is a very strong Marxist philosophy. You have to take God out of community, out of society. Then you have to control the parents, family units, control them, separate parents from children,
dissolve the
children, dissolve the family. Yes. And then you control the speech. And when you control the speech, you're saying you have to say him, her, she, they, them. You have to say pronouns. You have to use verbiage that is actually scientifically, and everybody in the room knows, not true. And I've refused to do that in the state capitol. I'm not gonna use the gender pronouns. That is a fake construct, but it's all part of control, part of Marxism. And that's why this hospital has mutilated many children, because it's part of the control. We're gonna control our state. We're gonna turn it into a Marxist craziness, and then everybody suffers under the hands of a few.
That is their agenda here in the Marxist communist state of Colorado, and we are all out here trying to fight back against this. What was your name, and how do people find you?
Scott Bottoms is my name. I am a sitting representative. I'm also running for governor here in Colorado, and we are going to reclaim Colorado for all Coloradoans. My website, scottbottoms.com. Pretty simple, scottbottoms.com.
Excellent. Well, appreciate you out here with all of us, and we will continue to fight for our children, fight for our generations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. Yes. We out here.
Yeah.
be out here. It is really hot, and I'm going to probably be turning my camera off in a few minutes because my phone is hot. It is very hot. The sun is directly above us. It's a cooker. Yeah. But, you know, keeping the truth alive and making sure public is aware of what's happening in the world doesn't stop. Fight for freedom is never free, and you always have to keep the fight alive. So, Break the Chains Media fighting for youth in Colorado, fighting against gender mutilation, gender ideology here at the Children's Hospital of Colorado and Schultz campus. It is under active FBI investigation. It's looking very good.
You know what he told me? There was no response.
Follow me on X at Break the Chains M, Protect Kids Colorado on X. Got a lot of good people out there fighting the good fight, trying to spread the word, trying to spread the education. So we've been going for about 40 minutes. It is hot. My phone is probably about to shut down because it is cooking in my hands. But if anything else comes up, we will add another live stream to this. But right now I'm going to be signing off here at the Ann Schultz campus here in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, excuse me. Fighting against the gender mutilation that's happening here in Colorado. Spreading awareness, and making sure people know that your tax money is funding surgeries, trans surgeries for minors, and the FBI is investigating it. So keep the fight alive, fight for freedom. I love y'all.